Today's episode of This Week in Startups is brought to you by ShareFile from Citrix, secure file transfer built for business. Visit sharefile.com, click on the microphone, and enter TWiST for a free 30-day trial. And by Squarespace, an all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create a professional website and now an online store. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase on new accounts, go to squarespace.com and use the offer code TWiST. And by AWS Activate, the Amazon Web Services Startup Program. It's easy to start and scale your business with AWS. Visit aws.amazon.com/activate. The following interviews were recorded at the 2014 Launch Festival in San Francisco. First up, Jason sits down with Kanishk Parashar of Coin. Then, William Santana Li demonstrates the police robot called Knightscope. Stick with us.
That's what it's all about, man. They said, money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah, we ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Next up is Kanishk from Coin. How many people have ordered a coin? Did anybody hear? Oh, holy shit. The same people who took an Uber. There's literally, I think that was about 1/3 of the audience has ordered a coin. 1/3 of this audience has ordered your product. These are your people. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a seat. Now, so this is going to be a real treat and very, I think, noteworthy in terms of the press. You have my credit card?
I do.
You took my credit card.
But you can give it back to me right now.
Okay, now
so
I got my
use
credit card. Now, you gave that to the union. They swiped it.
Right.
Yeah, okay. You have Coin with you.
Yeah, so because of this conference over the weekend, we kind of rushed and slapped the coin together. Even though the real ones aren't manufacturing, we just got some ahead. So I can't promise it's going to work, but I'm going to try and see if I can show you guys how it works.
Anybody want to see how it works? All right. Well, you got a lot of people who ordered it. Now, let's just, for the people in the room who don't know what a coin is, let's take it out here and talk about it a little bit and tell them what it is.
So Coin is a connected digital device. And what it does is it holds all your cards, like your credit, your debit, your gift cards. And then it just lets you use those cards everywhere normally cards are accepted. And it's basically designed to kind of like simplify and secure your data. And it's kind of bringing the analog, like magnetic stripe data into the digital age. Because inside a coin are processors and screens, and it's basically like a tiny little computer.
Now, these you were selling for $50 or $100? Where they
$50.
go? $50. And you can put how many cards into the one coin card?
Right, so this has been something I've been trying to tell folks is that, like on a coin itself, we have said that you should put about 8 cards on it.
8 cards.
But it can hold thousands.
You could hold thousands of cards.
The reason we say 8 is because there's a single button.
Ah.
If you have 50 on there and you miss the one, then
you have to
go
rotate
49 around to get to it. So we just said, look, 8 is a good limit for a weekly basis. But what happens is the rest of your cards, you know, the ones that you don't use that often are in your phone, so you can move them over to a coin if needed.
Got it.
Almost immediately, like within like 15, 30 seconds.
Okay, well, let's see the coin here. Let's take it out.
Okay, so
take a look. Now, a lot of disclaimers. This is a prototype, obviously.
Yeah, so we spent a bunch of time getting this ready. But again, something could fail, so I just want to warn you guys.
So here we go. We're over the shoulder. And that's the app we're seeing there.
Right, so this is a two-phase demo.
Okay.
First, what I'm going to do is, did I give you a card back?
You did give me the card back.
Can
I'll
I have
give
it back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no video yet. Okay, let's. Do you want to plug in? Well, we can see the app too. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's pull the video from the camera on the stage up. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Look at this. So you're launching the Coin app. There it is. Beautiful logo. You're putting in a PIN number. We all know your PIN now. That's great.
So this is a special app just for demoing.
And everybody now knows my credit card. Great.
So here what I'm doing is I'm taking Jason's card and I'm trying to put this in the app.
So you're going to put that in the app. Okay, so you're taking, looks like you're taking a picture there of my card. Okay, everybody knows my card. That's fantastic. All right, beautiful. Wow. Sir, did you order 19 MacBook Airs? Yes, I did. And I shipped them to 19 different locations. Okay.
So here I'm adding some of the information. So
yeah.
when you order a coin, you're going to do this once.
Yeah, you're putting in like my secret security code for everybody to see. Great. Just in case they ask on the phone. That's good.
So this is just for demo. What we're going to do is we're going to put a one-time auth on the account, just so even if you do this with somebody else's card, you can't get past this point unless you really know some details. So for now, this is just for demo's sake.
Just for demo's sake, got it. And yeah, we're going to think through these demos next time. Okay, so now you're sliding. Okay, and my card goes through.
And there it is.
Okay, so now my
now
card.
it's inside the coin app, right?
Okay.
So this is all my cards are here.
Okay. Well, that's.
So now the idea is you'll add all your cards here. But once they're here, you got to pick the ones you want to use a lot and put them on a coin. So let me take out a coin.
All right. It's an exciting moment here.
So forgive the appearance. I just Sharpied
it's coming out of a little bag there. Look at this. Wow, this is really like 3D printed prototype here. Oh, wow.
So basically, you can see it's like a clear encasing, but I just Sharpied it black so we don't give away all our secrets just now.
Okay, so now let's take a look at this.
So this is the syncing process right here.
Okay.
You press the sync button on the app.
Sync on the app.
And this is the card I just added. I call it safe.
Okay, my safe card that's
then
no
I press
longer
the sync
safe.
button.
Yep. Syncing over.
Now, this thing is waiting for a Bluetooth connection from Coin. So I'm just going to press and hold this button on Coin for 3 seconds.
Here we go.
1.
We're pressing, we're holding, and we're going to sync Jason's card over.
Syncing.
Syncing.
Done.
Done. Okay.
So
now, what just happened?
So I just took the card you gave me and I added it to this coin.
Now this coin, can I hold that for a second? So this feels, just so people in the audience know, that feels the same as this. In fact, my card feels heavier in a way and stiffer than this. This feels even thinner and simpler. What's the difference in thickness? So
they're roughly the same thickness. Like there are about 0.8, 0.9 millimeters.
Okay.
But I think eventually we want to make a coin feel like a card in your hand. Mm-hmm. You know, before we go for heavy metal and super incredible metal cards.
And we have a screen here that would give information on which card I'm using.
Yeah, that screen is in a weird state right now. So
yeah, but
this is random numbers.
This is like a what do they call that? E-ink or something?
It's an e-paper screen.
E-paper screen. And then this little button here is the button you press to rotate through my cards. Yep. So if I had 10 cards on here, I just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is my business card. 6 is my card I use for hotels, for hotel miles. 7 is my American Express Platinum card to get a free whatever discount. And now I don't carry 10 of these, I carry 1 of these.
Precisely.
But this acts just like a regular card.
Yeah, so the loop is finished when you go to some app like Square.
Okay, that's Square.
Or any cash register. And then what you would do is actually you would go ahead and so I'm going to try and charge you $1 here.
And this is with the first prototype. Wait a second. I'm not giving you $1?
Yeah, you are.
Well, that's a cheap speaking fee. I like it.
I can charge you again.
I'm going to start paying all my speakers $1. I would have given you $18 to do it. But
and there you go.
Wow. So big round of applause for that. Hey, everybody. What a great episode we're having. And I want to tell you all about ShareFile, which is designed for business. It's basically a file service where you can share files of any size quickly and securely, and you can do it from any computer or any mobile device. And what's great about it is you can also request files, get uploaded to a specific folder, and see exactly who's using them and give them very specific rights to those files. Also, you can get email alerts when somebody picks those files up or drops them off, which is very valuable. This is professional storage and sharing of files for corporations. It's designed for business, and it's super secure. And you can go to sharefile.com, click on the radio microphone button, and use the offer code TWiST to get a 30-day free trial. Let me tell you one more time. Sharefile.com. Click on the radio microphone button and use the offer code TWiST, T-W-I-S-T. No credit card is required, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. And here's an extra offer for you.
go ahead and sign up for ShareFile using the promo code TWiST, and we will send you the top 10 questions asked and answered by the most important investors in the world: David Cohen, Joanne Wilson, Dave McClure, Steve Jurvetson, Brad Feld, Mark Suster. It's an incredible lineup. All you have to do is sign up with ShareFile using the promo code TWiST and then send us a request a file link to sharefile@launch.co. That's right. Send us a request a file link to sharefile@launch.co. All new. This video is all new, and it's only available through this special offer. Thanks to our friends at ShareFile, buy at Citrix. Let's get back to the program.
All right. So I think we're good. We've got it. We can now buy this one consumer electronic device and not carry 10 credit cards anymore.
Yes.
How is this technically possible? And if it is technically possible, which it seems to be, why did this not exist already in the world? As an entrepreneur, we always ask ourselves, why doesn't something exist? Did nobody think of the idea of consolidating 10 cards onto one super hyper intelligent one with an e-ink screen or e-paper screen?
Yeah, so technically, the way this is possible is through some interesting manufacturing processes where all electronics have to be less than 0.5 millimeters tall. And another way it's possible is by having really low energy chips and writing code that's really low energy so that it can stay alive for a while. Because we don't want to put another device you have to charge in your life, basically. We want it to work out of the box.
So this doesn't have a USB port, because a USB port or a micro USB port would be even thicker than the card. So how does it charge? Is there a battery in there or something?
So this has been a topic of controversy. We decided that we would have it run for 2 years at a time. And we thought that was a solve because you don't have to charge another device. But a lot of times we get messages saying something like, well, it only runs for 2 years.
Right, it only runs for 2 years.
What happened to that? But I can understand why, because a normal card just doesn't die. If you just don't use it, it'll just sit around forever, essentially. Right. So I get it. But I just want everyone to know that by having a long battery life like that, it just doesn't have the hassle of charging. Because what happens to any device you have to charge is that it runs out of battery at the wrong time, right? And we don't want the batteries running out when you're paying.
Right. How did you come up with this idea? And back to that original question of it didn't exist in the marketplace, but is there some new technology that makes it capable of doing this thin? Is it the e-paper that is the key?
That's a good point. Yeah. So, for example, Bluetooth Low Energy didn't really exist until 2010 or so.
And it didn't work.
It didn't stabilized over the years. So the product's only maturing, and we rely heavily on it for not only transferring data, but also creating a leash feature, where if you leave a coin behind, it'll tell you figured it.
So if I leave the coin behind and the coin is unpaired from my phone, it will blare an alarm or something, or just give me a push notification.
So Bluetooth was a key piece of tech that we needed to make this possible, and that wasn't around until recently. Also, these screens, these are 0.3 millimeter screens that really, still aren't in wide distribution, the e-paper screens. Right. So they are still something new. And, last but not least, these weren't around. Right? These only came around in the last, 2008 or so. So without this, this is not possible.
Right.
So in the world of hardware, when it takes several years for things to get going, there's no way to get things out immediately. So this is pretty much as fast as something like this could have come around.
How many people in the audience, by a show of hand, would like to try Coin at some point, have Coin and not have to carry 9 credit cards? Yeah. Okay, so that's everybody. So you found a product that every single person wants to use that nobody had made before. That must have been shocking to you when you came upon the point that everybody wants this. How many people have pre-ordered this? Have you announced how many pre-orders there are?
Yeah, it was very shocking that folks wanted it, but from talking to everyone before it launched, there was interest in it. So I felt like there were some people out there, and we were just trying to target an initial set of users. A lot more people than we thought ordered one, but we still haven't announced how many, because we're going to wait till we start shipping them,
Got it.
Because we really want to make sure that the product gets out, and we want to focus on the product.
Now, somebody like American Express or Visa or MasterCard, they would not want a product like this to exist in the world, or they would? I mean, it seems like if you put all the cards into one, that may change their wallet share, if you will. How do the big credit card companies look at what Coin is doing?
You know, the big credit card companies have been trying to make devices like these for a long time, actually. And I've only found that out after getting into this business.
Really?
Yeah, the first ones were made in like 1990s, late 1990s. You know, and because there's value in going digital. There's more security in digital, right? So what we have actually done is made some progress in that domain, essentially, and created a market.
When you have my 8 credit cards in one device in one app, and do you have access then to all my purchasing history as well? We put you in an incredible position in terms of making me additional offers.
Yeah, so off the bat, Coin does not know what you're buying.
Okay.
You know, it can't really know that because all Coin is doing is it's transferring the payment data over to the register, and then the register just handles everything. Right?
So you don't actually see the transaction?
Yeah, we don't see the transaction. We just know you used it, basically, you know, because the Coin is a device. So, but long term, you know, there is value in that, and we'll start looking into it, you know, once we get past these first stages.
I'm assuming that if I had a Starwood card in there and a Platinum card in there and a couple of other type of business cards, you could offer me a new card from another vendor, and I could in one click put it on my Coin. Is that the eventual business model of this?
That is, you know, one of my favorite features. The use case is something like, you know, you're at Macy's or Nordstrom's and you're at the cash register, and you know, normally how they ask you, like, hey, do you want the Macy's card? It's 40% off if you get one.
Right.
And you're like, I do, but then I don't want to fill out this paperwork and wait for you to make a phone call and get a piece of paper which has my card number on it, and then it'll come in the mail 2 weeks later. Like, it's, you know, it's a laborious process. With something like Coin, what can happen is you can literally grab the information, the financial data in your app, because you can see the offer inside a Coin app and just tap it. And since we know who you are, we can get you validated. And if you get approved, it can be all delivered, you know, through the wire and onto your Coin, so you can swipe like within a minute of trying to get that card, which is really of value to both the customer and the merchant.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to just get issued a new card instantly that I could use, and I would guess you get a pretty good bounty on that. I know the bounties on cards are pretty phenomenal if you get somebody to sign up for a new one.
I believe there's a good bounty on it, so we have to discuss what is that bounty.
Yeah. So this is the sort of if this becomes the 1.0, where do you think this winds up going? Because a lot of people have, you know, basically said, hey, the future is that you just come in with your phone, it recognizes your phone, and you pay with your phone, right? But how many people have actually walked into somewhere and paid with their phone for something in this audience? How many people? Raise your hand high. That's actually, I bet you it's Starbucks. How many people have used Starbucks to pay with their phone? Okay, so it is exactly Starbucks. How many have used something other than the Starbucks app to pay for something? Very few. Yeah, well, medium, like maybe 5% of the audience. So would this have the ability with low-2 Bluetooth to do what people think the phone will do in terms of saying, because, I mean, taking out the app from Starbucks and getting it to scan is the same as taking out your card. That doesn't save any time, but walking in and not taking it out of your pocket, the person seeing your picture and you leaving with your coffee is the holy grail. Do you think that's where this is going to wind up at some point?
Yeah, so this is, the answer to this, I can talk for hours. And if I want to boil it down, I think the key is that any system that you use that's through some device, it has to be able to scale with you. So you need to use it day after day without really thinking hard about it. So Starbucks did a great job. You know, if you walk into Starbucks and you're using the barcode, then you're using the barcode. You just got used to it. They give you rewards to give you incentive to use it. You know, and otherwise, you know, if you do go pay with your phone at a different merchant, you go to another merchant and they might not accept it. So what will happen is that you really have to be vigilant in using your phone in order to pay for it. And, you know, and I've tried to pay with my phone whenever I have a chance. And I've not been successful in remembering to do it every time, because eventually I'm in a rush and I'll just quickly, out of habit, reach for my, you know, my cards and just use it. So the scalability, the rolling out process, you know, is long and laborious, and it's going to take a while. Another thing to note is that, you know, it's been professed that we're going to pay with smartphones But since making these devices, I'm a software guy, and it's only been like a year and a half in this space, and I'm making hardware devices. So it's becoming more and more approachable and possible to make devices, right? So, this has an ARM processor. This has an ARM processor. It's a mobile device, right? So we will pay with mobile devices. In fact, as soon as you get your coin, you'll be paying with a mobile device. So I just want to, differentiate between device and a phone.
Right.
Basically.
So what have you learned being a software engineer who had to build hardware? How is it different to build this than it is just build the app? What did you have to learn? What did you have to change about your entrepreneurial software process and running a startup to actually ship this to what I'm going to assume is probably thousands or tens of thousands of people in the first version?
That's also something I talk about for a while. Basically, the biggest difference between making a software startup and a hardware startup is that you have to make the thing before you can make the app. So you can't take this for granted and write the app. You have to make this, then make the app. So it just adds extra work.
Yeah.
Now, to do that extra work, you need to have a different skill set. And part of it is, knowing electronics. Then other part is knowing how to procure all your parts, which is the supply chain, right? And the last is you have to get used to working a lot longer before you make anything, because you just can't get it done that fast. Like, for example, like Coin, let's say we do a build. We say, look, we're ready. We want to use the next, we're going to make the next version of Coin. Then we have these, I don't know how many partners that we send all this CAD data to, and then they start making, PCBs. Then it goes to assembly, then it goes to bonding, then it goes to encapsulation. Then it's tested along the way, and we have a bunch of yields. So in the end, we end up with like 2 when we try to make 100. And when you put that into manufacturing, which is the next step after you do all these development builds, is that you have to be able to scale to 1,000, 10,000, and so on, and you have to stabilize the process as you go. And that's like this really intense, expensive process of ramping up, right? So you have to, first have a bunch of people working with their hands, and if you realize what you can make it automatic, then you have to hire folks who can automate those things, and you have to ramp volume over time. So it's a bunch more work.
All right, well, let's hear it for Kanishk from Coin. Very well done.
And now, Jason welcomes William Santana Li to the stage with Knightscope.
How are you, Bill? Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
You're Bill, and who is this?
This is the Knightscope K5 autonomous data machine.
It's an autonomous data murdering robot, is what you're saying.
No. This is the world's first stage diving, crowd surfing robot.
All right, no, seriously. I know this is meant for security. So what are we looking at here? Describe physically what you made.
All right, so Knightscope's developing technology to predict and prevent crime with a combination of an autonomous robot, predictive analytics, and social engagement. And this machine is 5 foot tall, about 300 pounds, and it can see, feel, hear, and smell. So easy there.
Okay.
360-degree daytime, nighttime video, thermal imaging, gesture recognition.
Okay.
It can run 300 license plates a minute using an optical.
Whoa. 300 license plates a minute here.
Yep, with an optical character recognition system.
And then there's 3 cameras or 4 cameras?
4 cameras.
4 cameras, okay.
And then for airports and seaports, you've got WMD threat detection capability for biochemical, radiation, and pathogens.
Okay.
But probably the key thing here is it's autonomous. This is intended to roam around outdoors 24/7 on its own, including autonomously charging itself when it needs to.
Okay, so it can go back and get a charge.
Right.
It can take video, and it can check license plates, and it can find out if there's a dirty bomb or something.
Right. So
how does it do that?
Sensing capability that you would have for WMD. So this is like a platform that you can put all sorts of kind of different facial recognition technologies, sniffing technologies, et cetera.
And so what's the app? Is there more demo?
Yeah. And
okay.
I think, if I recall, Jason,
yes.
You at one point in time wanted to be an FBI agent.
I did,
or an officer.
I was going to join
So you get a Knightscope
police
shirt with Calacanis on the back.
Okay, great.
And it says precog agent there.
Precog agent, I like that. So we can go arrest somebody who has not committed a crime yet.
Over here, to the Knightscope Security Operations Center. And so we're going to log in Calacanis here.
Okay.
And so it's your first day on the job. Going to walk you through, well, I think you probably want to check how the machines are doing so you get a machine and network kind of health status after you've deployed all of these.
Okay, so I got 6 robots in my network.
Right.
One of them's out of service. Got it.
We want to make sure that these are roving around autonomously. And the way that works is a combination of LiDAR, a couple lasers, differential GPS, as well as the wheel encoder movement, and some proximity sensors.
So it knows where it is by GPS, and it also has a laser there scanning.
It does a real-time 3D map every 25 milliseconds. It's scanning its environment.
Similar to the Google self-driving car technology?
Analogous, yes.
Analogous, okay.
Right. And then, so it's your first day on the job. You kind of want to know the historical data of crime in the particular area.
Okay.
And maybe you want to then look at what the actual robot might be seeing at that point in time, so you'd be able to click.
So this could be 6 robots or 4 of the cameras off of one
exactly,
and some combination.
Exactly.
Looking at what's going on in the parking lot or the mall or wherever.
Exactly. And then you got an alert status here.
Hey, wait, that guy who went by, let's go back one. I saw it was reading his face. Is the idea that it's going to read everybody's face and then know where we are? Like those green dots, is that facial recognition?
Yes, that's facial recognition. So you would be able to put in, depending on the client, a whitelist or blacklist, including the plates as well. So you'd be able to tell if there's a sexual predator in the area, a stolen car, et cetera.
Got it.
So then we go back over here to check out the alert status. Looks like we're cool on the WMD side. We got a license plate hit. And then if you really want to analyze an area, the way, let's say, a Palantir and IBM are analyzing data, they're looking primarily historical data.
Right.
What this provides is real-time on-site data.
Gotcha.
And if you can combine that with the geofence analysis of everything you see on the social media front, and you start looking for hints, and you think about what happened after the Boston Marathon bombing, everyone was genuinely trying to help, trying to figure out what to tweet, what to put on YouTube, what to put on. If you're the crime analyst trying to figure out where to look, a little difficult.
So you're saying if at the Boston Marathon, one of these was on every corner, it would be recording everybody, all the video from 4 different directions.
Right. Right.
That wasn't a dirty bomb, so it wouldn't have picked up that bomb.
And then we're going to test the concept of crowdsourcing security. So to alleviate any privacy concerns and having just the government have all the data is basically if we get an alert that's yellow, orange, or red or above, we're literally going to live stream everything for that geofenced area for that community to basically help out.
So on Nextdoor or Twitter, if I lived in Noe Valley and we had these on every corner and there's an alert because something happened, it could just tweet it to the Noe Valley Twitter stream.
Yeah, if you're a concerned parent, want to see how your kid's doing at school. But the end game here is to have a heat map where you could see where, let's say, we've got 2 stolen cars in the area. We've got them geotagged, time-stamped. We don't know why there's 4 people doing this rapid hand gesture motion. Not normal for 2 people to be horizontal in the middle of the afternoon. A couple of other feeds, and that way you could actually deploy additional reinforcements, either from law enforcement, private security, et cetera.
Okay, so this is a prototype we're looking at.
Yeah, this is version 1.5. We released 1.0 in December. We'll be deploying 2.0 during the second quarter here, a couple clients.
Does this exist in the real world? In other words, is there somebody have this on campus or in their mall yet?
Next month, we'll start the beta tests.
So next month, somebody will have this in a location.
At an undisclosed location, yes.
At an undisclosed location, people are going to see this. Now, how do you convey to an average citizen, you know, the end of days is coming and that the robots are going to win? Like, seriously, like if I walk into this and it's on in my parking lot, with the lights went on, what does that mean?
Well, you're cool, you're cool.
I'm cool? Okay.
You paid your ticket, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but if I walk into the parking lot and I see this, I mean, how do you communicate to everybody at the USC campus that, hey, there's going to be robots in the parking lot now and their purpose?
So our 2 initial clients are going to help us with that. The corporate campuses where the employees would be engaged. And you're touching on probably the key thing here is, in the highest sense of the word, that human-machine interface. How do you at the same time have a commanding presence, put in a physical presence? You know, first line of defense for law enforcement is to physically be there. I can put a marked law enforcement vehicle in front of your home or your office, and criminal behavior actually changes.
Sure.
Right? So you put those out there, and we're going to see how do we get that commanding presence, but also have the community accept and engage with that device that will help them get their crime levels down. So if we can prove in a geofenced area that we can cut crime by 50%, you may not know this, it affects everyone in this room. Crime has a $1 trillion negative economic impact on the economy. It affects your insurance rates, housing prices, financial markets, the safety of your family, the viability of your business. And if we can show that we can literally cut it in half, every mayor across this planet is going to be calling us.
I love Squarespace. That's all I have to say. End of commercial. Boom. No, seriously. I love Squarespace because it's got beautiful, beautiful design templates that make everything you do look professional and like you hired a huge design agency and spent $50,000 or $100,000 or $250,000 making your site. They have been at this for years, and they provide 24-hour support for these exceptional-looking sites, and they keep adding crazy features. Like I know they added commerce, and you can sell your products there and have shopping carts and all that great stuff without having to go integrate like a third party into your CMS. It's just there, and it's super, super affordable. It starts at only $8 a month, which I think they should add a zero to that, honestly. It's too cheap, but listen, this is the path they've chosen. They want to give more people access to the best tools in the world, which I think is very noble. If I'm running the company, I'm charging $80 a month. They're charging $8. I don't get it. It's just way too powerful to charge $8 a month for, but that's what they're doing. So go ahead and go to squarespace.com to try it for free. Again, starting at only $8 a month. No credit cards required during the trial. And if you decide to keep it, use the offer code TWiST afterwards. It's everything you need to create an exceptional website. Oh, and by the way, it's all like beautiful on mobile too. So like a lot of times you go to a website on your phone and you're like, why is this not working? And I have to pinch and zoom. No. If you use Squarespace, all those problems are solved. Just like at the major companies like ESPN and Yahoo, they all have like all these incredible developers making sure it's responsive and works on mobile. Guess what? If you have Squarespace, you get that too. You get that huge, amazing technical team making your site and the hundreds of thousands of people who use Squarespace sites even better and world-class. I mean, $8 a month. It's insane. Thank you so much at Squarespace. And if any of your friends or family or businesses you know, do them a favor. Tell them to move their sites to Squarespace so that they get better service at a better price. Thanks again at Squarespace. I really love you guys. You do a great job. And we use it for all the launch sites. So thanks again, Squarespace.
If this is in the parking lot roaming around, do you fear that this is going to be vandalized in some way? And what are the anti-vandalization techniques or strategies for a device like this? I mean, if you just put these into, like these things roaming around outside of Madison Square Garden in Manhattan, like you're going to have 10 people knock them over for fun. It's going to be cow tipping.
Robot tipping?
Robot tipping is going to be like, so how do you deal with that?
First, obviously, we got you on camera and we know who you are,
Right.
and there's always more than one machine keeping an eye on each other. And you probably have a security guard. This is not a full-on replacement for humans. You want the machines to do the monotonous, sometimes dangerous work and maybe computational heavy work and have the humans do the strategic work. So first is, obviously, we got you on video. Second, we know if it's being jostled or what have you, and there's a piercing, very painful alarm. They'll put somebody on the ground if you kind of mess with it. Third, it's if it has the City of Mountain View logo on it or whatever, it's actually a felony to tamper with government property. And then we're also working with 3M to put a anti-graffiti coating on it. It's going to happen.
But if it had a police logo on it, you probably, just like a police car, you probably don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, it's going to be some interesting YouTube videos once we get to that.
This looks like it costs $250,000 or something. What is this going to cost people if you wanted to put it in your parking lot at your, 500-person technology company, campus? You want to have it just in the parking lot to make sure people get to their cars safe and nobody's cars are vandalized. What does this cost? $250,000?
No, not even close. So this would be offered on a machine-as-a-service business model.
Okay.
On a triple shift, meaning 24/7 per month, be about $3,000 a month.
So $3,000 a month, I get a robot that will patrol 24 hours a day, or
24/7, no pension liability, fully fringed. You're about $4.17 an hour.
So $4 an hour, I can have 24-hour security in all directions. So it's much more efficient than a human.
Right. So you're thinking most folks don't know the security industry has somewhere between 100 to 400% employee turnover rate. Imagine getting a new team every quarter. So the jobs aren't all that great. So what you really want to do is, and this is theory, we're going to find out if for every 7 machines you have 3 guards who are actually doing more strategic work and actually managing a part of the process here and actually increasing the levels of the capabilities of those guards.
Now, if I was working at a campus and, like, let's say I'm at USC and it's midnight and I got to walk to my car across campus and it's a known area, can I just take out my phone and request an escort?
Exactly. So you could have a bunch of apps that we're end up developing, but one's just a simple follow me app. You need a physical escort. It's 2 in the morning, like you said, and you want to get across campus or to your vehicle. That could be an escort for you.
People are going to be, I think, super concerned about this in some way and super be very happy that they have more security. With these first couple of clients, have they told their employees that, you know, the Knightscope KS is showing up on Monday for work? And what do the employees think when they see this?
Well, that's why it's called a beta.
Right.
So the appropriate folks that are involved know, and then we'll have a little employee Q&A. But, you know, yeah, we're on the cutting edge here, and this should give you a little discomfort.
Yeah.
No different than when electricity came out, when
Yep.
you know, PC came out, when, you know, the ATM machine was going to destroy the banking industry, right? It should give you a little discomfort, but that's what we're going to be doing during 2014 is refining the technology with a couple of clients. We've got maybe another 30 on a wait list.
All right, let me ask this incredibly astute and attractive audience. How many people would love to see this in the parking lot at the mall they go to make sure their car is secure? How many people would love to see this? Okay. Okay. How many people find this disconcerting on a privacy and like sort of level? Interesting. And how many people raised their hand both times? Yeah. Okay, so there we go. People are
confirmed.
It's pretty much confirmed. But you think as an entrepreneur, net, at the end of the day, this is going to make society better.
Yeah. So we've got the macro thesis is you got 7 billion people on this planet. We're about to go to 9 billion people. The law enforcement apparatus that we have globally will not scale. We can't just keep adding people and more officers, more people, more guards. And there are 22 million law enforcement professionals and private security guards globally, and there has not been a revolution in the security space. There's just been basically no investment and very little innovation, and I think we've got a wonderful opportunity here. And given the amount of client interest, we're frankly flooded.
You're flooded with requests for this.
Yep.
So you mentioned private campuses. Who's number 2 and 3 and 4 on the list in terms of categories of people who want it?
Categories, so you got the insurance industry. Obviously, we cut crime by 50% in an area that's going to cut claims for an insurance company, so obviously financially driven there. Obviously, communities, major malls, National Art Gallery, special opportunities like the Olympics or the World Cup, special events like that. So we're pretty full up.
Amazing. Well, let's hear it for Knightscope and the KS.
K5.
Well done. I'm sorry, what is it called?
K5.
K5. Well done. Hey, and this is the final question. Sorry, before I get you off here.
Yep.
But having go to the stage here, where will this be if you succeed in 10 years? What will that look like?
It will look like several different machines.
Okay.
The technology is on the prediction side, and it's on the low-speed autonomous technology. As much as people like to say hardware is hard, it's not hard if you've done it before, you've done it repeatedly. I'm an ex-Ford Motor Company executive, and know how to know who to recruit and what suppliers to get engaged. The concept here is for us to operate less than 25 miles an hour on private roads. And so there's no reason we can't do small, medium, large, extra large, 2-wheel, 3-wheel, 4-wheel, 6-wheel, depending on what the client might need. It might be even as simple as perimeter security for a data center outdoors.
Right. So it could look like a Segway, like have treads, so it can go through mud or whatever.
Depending on what the client needs.
Border security, maybe?
Border security is another opportunity, a huge opportunity, actually.
How does that compare with drones? I mean, we're going to have some drones later in the program. You know, you think drones are going to be the complement to this? We'll put a drone in the thing and it opens up and a drone comes out?
Never crossed my mind, Jason.
Did it really? Did you actually think about putting a drone in the top?
We've got some stuff on the drawing boards. The
opportunity,
well, the opportunity with drones don't have a great launch pad. You ever see 2 officers actually try to get out of their car?
Yeah.
Open the trunk, try to get the thing launched. I mean, it just doesn't work all that well. We're trying to solve an actual problem, so I'm not technology specific. I want to make sure that we're able to cover. So if a client needs immediate reconnaissance aerial, and we can just put something like that, or something much larger.
Tray slides out, mini drone goes up, 360s the area, and comes back down.
The specific request is from the insurance industry, so you've got post-disaster reconnaissance. Right, before you go send in the insurance adjuster and it's not safe, probably a good opportunity to do something there.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is just completely scary and awesome, and I love it, Bill. All right, thanks. Well done.
Jason.